Well, there is more fallout in Washington, D.C. tonight after chaos erupted yesterday afternoon.
President Donald Trump issued a statement early today. He promised an orderly transition on January 20th, but refused to concede a loss affirmed by Congress hours after Trump supporters attacked the Capitol. Top Democratic leaders, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, called for Vice President Mike Pence to assume the Oval Office under the 25th Amendment. Several administration officials resigned in protest to the president's handling of the crisis. They include Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao, who is also the wife of Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Some Kentuckians were there in Washington, D.C. when that violence broke out. Now, the ones we talked to say they don't condone the siege on the Capitol. They say they worry the violence will overshadow why most people went there in the first place. Evening Edition's Lee Searcy spoke with them today.
Jeff Farmer and some friends were with the tens of thousands of people at the Capitol to show their support for President Trump.
There's millions of Americans that think that the election wasn't exactly fair. You know, there's a lot of voting discrepancies and things like that. And, you know, it's just something we wanted to take part in.
We caught up with him over FaceTime video as he rode back to Kentucky. He says to him this was a history-making send-off for the president.
We didn't realistically think that the votes or anything is going to be overturned.
Farmer says for hours the crowd was peaceful and law-abiding.
Everyone felt very well protected and very safe, and then that happened, you know, and it was just disgraceful.
He and his buddies were one of the thousands walking toward the Capitol when this happened.
I think it was a small group of people that influenced some maybe weaker-minded people to follow their lead.
None of us condone that. And that's why I think it's very important for this message to be out, just like I think it's very important if it's BLM or whoever, anybody who protests and you have a small fringe that goes off the rails. I think it's very important for people to follow up and say that we do not support or condone that type of activity.
Farmer and Glenn Wathen both say despite their dismay over the election outcome, they do support the Constitution and the right to protest peacefully.
The core group of the people that support the message, they're going to do the right thing. And then you're always going to have weak-minded people on the outside of it or extremists on one side or the other that are going to, more often than not, ruin it for everybody.
Lee Searcy, Evening Edition.